Lately, we've been talking about dispute letters that you probably don't want to send because they can hurt your ability to get deletions. And in my opinion, this is another one. It is the Goodwill letter, which is a letter that you normally send directly to a creditor like, Capital One or American Express, stating that, hey, I've been late. It was an accident. Here's the reason why. And could you pretty please remove it from my credit report? I'm going to show you exactly why you don't want to use this letter and what you should be doing instead. Now, before we get started, listen to the message. Don't waste your time sitting here judging the messenger. You might miss something. This is your first time here. First of all, thanks for visiting. And second, make sure that you subscribe so that you can increase your credit score and remove your negative items, because that's all we do here on this channel. Look at this very first paragraph. It says, "Thank you for taking the time to read this letter. I'm writing because I noticed that my most recent credit report contains a late payment. I want you to know that I understand my financial obligations, and if it weren't for circumstances that caused you to miss a payment, I'd have an excellent repayment record. I made a mistake in falling behind, but since then, blah, blah, blah. I've had a spotless record of on-time payment." Let's go back and look at this. I've highlighted it for you. Circumstances that caused you to miss a payment. Number one, you are admitting that you were late, but then now you're going to go to the credit bureaus and you're going to say, "I was not late on date. Please remove this from my credit report for false reporting or inaccuracy or whatever." Well, guess what? You made the mistake of directly contacting that original creditor and saying, "Hey, I was late. I'm so sorry. My dog died. I lost my job." You never, ever, ever, ever want to admit guilt, right? There's so many other ways that you can make that burden of proof go directly onto the data furnisher or onto the bureaus. So your job is to never say that you were actually late. And that is the entire point of a Goodwill letter, is to say, "I was late. I'm so sorry." So that's the reason why you do not want to use a Goodwill letter. And I mean, for obvious reasons, these just don't work. These letters do not work, and they're going to hurt you because once you contact the credit bureaus, they're going to say, "You verified this yourself, and here's a copy of the letter that you sent to the data furnisher," because they're going to send it over. Now, this is what you can actually do instead. And I'm also going to show you where you can learn how to, number one, understand how to do a credit sweep, and number two, actually get results. But here's the letter. So I pulled my credit report both on your website as well as Identity IQ, and I've found some inaccurate information that requires removal. I mean, sounds pretty straightforward, right? I have a new employment opportunity coming up, and I know they'll pull my credit report, and this false information will hurt me. Now let's go and we're going to highlight this. False information. You are already telling them that this is not accurate. You have three different options on here. They all start with creditor name and account number. I was not late on date, which is reported as however many days late, 30, 60, etc. On this bureau, it shows this many days late. On that bureau, it shows this many days late. And on this bureau, it shows this many days late. Remove this late payment for inaccuracy and update to paid as agreed. Option B, creditor name and account number. This late payment on X date requires removal because I paid on time. Please furnish the bank statement belonging to creditor name, proving that I was ever late on this account. If you cannot furnish this bank statement, which is the only legal form of verification, this account must be updated to paid on time, never late, for, again, false reporting. I'm going to tell you why these work, but let's go and look at the third one. Creditor name and account number. Update to paid as agreed. I was not late on date. So in the first example, option A, you would use that if you have different late payments reporting on the payment history, right? So let's say that TransUnion and Experian are showing that you were late on January 2020, and Equifax, for some reason, is showing that you were late on February 2020. Obviously, those are two different months for the same creditor. It's supposed to be that same late payment date. However, you cannot be late and on time for the same date, and therefore it's inaccurate. That is why that works. If that doesn't match whatever your situation is, don't use it because it's going to just make you look like a liar. And the entire point of factual disputes is that you are supporting your argument based on the facts that they report on your credit report. B works because bank statements are literally, not figuratively, the only legal form of verification. If you can just pause for a second and think about this, it's going to make sense. Anything that they say other than proving directly from their bank, showing when your payment was actually received into their account, is going to be hearsay. And hearsay is not something that would hold up in court. And these are confidential, legal financial documents. They're not going to provide this, and therefore it is hearsay and it needs to be removed. And then option C is very straightforward. Hey, look, I wasn't late. Just remove it from my credit report. Okay. So in all three options, we are not saying that you were late. In all three options, we're telling them to remove this late payment and update to pay it on time, never late. You don't want to use this if you have 90-day late payments, and you don't want to use this if you have 120-day late payments. You're going to need to remove the 30-day, then 60, and then 90. If you're doing that, and 120 days cannot be fixed, okay? This is the letter you don't want to send because you are admitting guilt, and this is the letter that would remove these late payments instead and put all the burden of proof on A, the credit bureaus, and B, the data furnisher. Now, if this is too much for you don't really know where to start with this or why I am saying what I'm saying, I have a couple of courses. I'm going to give you the directory link and you can just go check them out yourself. I've got the credit repair course on steroids, my all-in-one crash course, and how to fix your credit report step-by-step for beginners. And live automation is also in here, and how to remove unpaid charge-offs. So you can go check that out yourself. If you would instead like to see if I can personally do your credit sweep for you, that link is at the top of the screen. As always, my740.com. Schedule a call with me and I will see if I can help. But smash that like if this is something that you learned today. Maybe you didn't know that you shouldn't be sending out Goodwill letters, or maybe you know someone who is sending out Goodwill letters and you want to stop them because now you know the truth. Share this video with them and drop me a comment and let me know what you think. And I will see you next time.